Welcome to another edition of the sewing workshop, and we are tackling a turned up cuff, very easy to make with any pattern that you have. The important thing is that it goes just over the elbow, and we're cutting another piece of fabric to exactly the same size as that sleeve. I'm using a cotton sateen that works really well. Opposite the front, you want to put a slit in, or you want to mark it and put the slit in later. And the piece that's exactly the same should have a depth of 8 to 10 centimeters, and we just place that on top. You can either just turn this in at the top if you don't have an overlocker, or you just overlock this. And then we're going to sew along here, and you can come in to this point so it splits open a bit. That actually looks really cute, and we're going right to there. So then we can turn it and we have a turn up. When you get to this point, what you want to do is reduce your stitch length to about 1 so that nothing can fray out, and go pretty close here to what you've got, I would anyway, and then go up to the top of the slit, and I can do a bit bigger there than 1.5 I'm doing now, and I'm just going to the center here. And then I come back down. Some people will say, well, why did you snip it first? Well, you don't have to, right? You don't have to do that. I just did that. So I go down, make sure nothing can rip out, go across, make my stitch length a bit bigger again, and all the way along. With that done, I'm going to cut right to the quick here. It's really important that you cut right to the top. Cut off your corner, and then we can turn this and iron it, and we're getting this look from the outside, super cute, and this look from the inside. So you can now go ahead if you like, and you could top stitch this. So this top here is never going to go anywhere. I've overlocked it. But to get this all together, I will now overlock all the way around the side, and then we're going to put them together like this, and we're going to sew them together. So I would now recommend that you try doing this without pinning. So just making sure that the seam edges here are on top of each other, the edges of the fabric. And with the other hand, I'm holding this, okay? So make sure that it stays there. The fingers are powerful tools. For some things you don't need pins. Now that this is together, all I have to do here is like finger iron it. I mean, you can get in with an iron, but I'm not bothering. I'm just going to fold it so it sits on here, right? Okay. And then I'm going to iron the whole lot in one go. Much simpler. So get my iron and steam it. Lots of steam. There we go. See? Fine. Now, the one thing you don't want this to move or go anywhere. So one thing you can do, this is a little trick, don't have to do it like this, you could just do a few hand stitches, is to just get this back out. Yeah, like that. Not difficult, but it has to be straight. See, like that. And now I have got my seam allowances here on top of each other. So all I have to do now is sew them together. It doesn't have to be there, it can be here, the top. So, and then that will never go anywhere. Man, that is super cute. And now we're popping across to the next dress I've made, where I made it in a linen, and I had the idea for a really lovely trim. And I had this really groovy idea of putting this on is a bit of an afterthought, so it falls down like that. And I thought, whoa, that would be really pretty. All you have to do is measure all the way around, which is what I've done, and then I'm going to sew together my bias binding, and then you sew it on first a little bit higher with a rough edge going this way, and then stitch it to there, and then just fold it down and stitch it down again. Now the measuring fun starts, so I need to decide where I want it to be, and I think this is perfect. So I've got a little bit of a gap here, otherwise I'll be, you know, this I'm stitching on here, so when I fold this down I want it to go to there. So I can see here going up I need to be exactly on 7, right? So put my first pin in here, go along. Oh, just cut this just right. I was worried that I might not have. There. Next one in. So it's the same all the way around. If you did this with quilting cotton, a lot easier. I mean, this is like swimming. This fabric is very soft silk satin. I always found when I was making this really expensive lingerie that blue was the hardest to work with. It goes so soft in the dye process. It's unbelievable. I'll do the same on the other side, and now I'm going to stitch along there about 3 millimeters off the edge. So I pushed this on my sewing machine arm and then just sewed it to there. So that's not really very difficult. Now comes the interesting part. I need to push it on the arm again, roll this down, and then stitch it down all the way around here. You can iron this first if you like. I definitely would do mine, because this silk satin is so difficult to work with. It's so beautiful. I'm so glad I've done this. I think this is really nice. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time where we'll be tackling the perfect neckline. Bye!